Naptown Tuner here. We just got done extracting this $5,000 drain plug. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll pin that video in the comments. Now we're going to do this oil change on a 2013 Porsche Cayenne. No, it's not a turbo, but who cares? We got some liquid moly and a moly oil filter. They're not related, but I did interview these people at PRI, so you want to check out that video as well. I got the engine running because it helps if the oil is hot and it's churned up. It comes out fast. It gets most of it out. Then it's a lot cleaner whenever you install the new oil. Let's get started. First we got to take off this splash pan, this underbody panel. As you can see, we got an oil leak going on. I think that's from something else. We're going to have to take a look at this in the future and maybe do some valve cover gaskets. But for right now, we're just going to take this belly pan off. It looks like it's missing this piece right here, so let it be known. I'm going to write that on the ticket that I didn't lose it. Also, these pieces of hardware are not all the same. Looks like this, see how the washers are different, and then this one I'm about to take out. Has a Torx head on it, so we got a couple more way up here. I'm gonna have to get an extension. Gotta have a long extension for this one, and check it out. I'm gonna use my flip socket. This is 10mm on one side, 8mm on the other. Even though this Porsche probably doesn't have any 8mm bolts on it, I just like the new socket I got. We get to see this drain plug. Let's take a good look at this thing. This is the $5,000 drain plug, and they already tried to put an extractor in it. I can tell by looking at it. I see these swirl marks. Apparently they said that they weren't even going to attempt to take this plug out. Is that what they said?
Yeah.
All right, well,
$5,000 for a new oil pan.
We're gonna have to attempt. It looks like they wallered that hole out so much that it is a perfect cone.
So this was my $5,000 oil change.
There's two different ways to get this oil filter out. You see, it's a cartridge filter. It's got a plastic cap on it. The way that you should be doing it is with an oil filter socket right here. This is probably like a 32, 34mm, something like that. They've also probably got a cup that you could fit over this whole thing and grip this part. We're gonna go backyard style and use a strap wrench from Walmart, and it's also got bonus rust, so we want to make sure it's going the right way. That would be this way right here, because you see how it levers in, so it fits absolutely perfect. I mean, this probably is the proper tool. I think that they probably use this at the Porsche dealer, if we're being honest. And then just give it a nice little, yeah, see that? Now really, give me a hard time about how this is gonna hurt something or damage something. I dare ya. So we wanna have the catch pan right here. Probably still gonna make a mess. All right, so before it spills, I'm just going to take my other hand right here, pull my sleeve back as much as I can, and then we're going to go ahead and move this jack stand. It's good. we made a mess. Now let that be a lesson, Junior. This is how you're supposed to take the oil filter out. Once you get it loose, you're supposed to put some cardboard in here and direct all those splashes into your drain pan. I'm getting ready to take out this drain plug that I'm going to pin that video in the comments. I used this easy out, probably a 70-year-old tool, maybe 60 years old, I don't know. But as soon as you start loosening this thing, it's going to start spilling all over your hands. And I'm going to try to do this really fast so I don't splash. Oh, we're splashing. And carefully pick it out because we got a new one with the kit. I'm going to slide this on. Make sure it's not twisted because you could, when you put it on, you could twist it up and that would be bad. So I'm just going to put it on like this and roll it around. It's okay if you stretch it a little bit, but it's a lot worse if you twist it. Make sure it's lubed up. I'm lubing it up with some of the old oil. My fingers are oily. Make sure this is all clean. It doesn't get any grit and stuff in there. So you have to put this in a clean spot. The wind is starting to blow right now, so that's not very good. So I'm going to put the oil filter in first and make sure it's fully seated. It's a tight fit. You see how this oil leaks here? We're going to address those in a future video. Now I'm going to put the cap in and start it on. Make sure it's not cross-threaded. There we go. If it starts to feel like it's binding, that's not a good sign. It should go almost all the way to this O-ring, and then it should start to get stiff whenever it gets to the O-ring. If you cross-thread it, then you're an idiot. See that? Get it all the way. It doesn't need to be stupid tight. That's tight enough. Now we're going to put our drain plug in. Make sure you have your crush washer, your brand new crush washer on your brand new plug. You don't always have to put a brand new plug in, but I'll tell you what, at the dealership we used to put new plugs in every time. We're going to hand tighten it. And we're going to get our quarter drive torque wrench and torque it to spec, all the way fully seated. Right there, that's perfect torque. Socket's stuck, so I'm just gonna reverse it. See how it broke loose? But I didn't reverse it at all. I just reversed it for the socket to come out. This is a used funnel. I cleaned it with a clean microfiber, but now I'm gonna prime it with some fresh oil. Just in case there's something else in there, wash it down the tube. Now we're ready to put the new oil in the top. The oil capacity in this 4.8 liter V8 direct fuel injected Porsche engine is 10 quarts, and right here we have the liquid moly bottle. You always want to check the capacity on the bottles. We've got 5.28 quarts or 5 liters, so that's 10.5 quarts total with 2 bottles. I'm going to leave it about right here. We're going to try to put all of it in there except about 1 quart, and then we'll top it off. Because this guy, it's got electronic oil level sensor in this vehicle as well, so you got to get it to operating temperature and then check it with the sensor and the MMI, or what do they call it on Porsche? Pop the cap off and set it right here so it's staring us in the face. Set it in there. Now we're going to put about half quart or a full quart less than what it really takes. Sometimes this is a bad thing to do because if there's a baffle right here in your valve cover, you can put too much in at once and it can overflow your baffle. But luckily, I didn't screw that up this time. I was taking a chance. infotainment system of some type, whatever. Tell me what Porsche calls it.
PCM, Porsche Control Management.
There we go. If he's wrong, someone will tell us. I'm gonna go ahead and stop right there, just based on the way it feels. Let's see if it, no, we're right here. I need to go about one more quart. I'm just trying to be safe. Where are we? Right here. We're gonna go and stop there just to make sure. Always tap your funnel out, then you can plug the end. And then make sure to put your cap back on when you're done, and don't install it incorrectly. If you install it incorrectly, it looks like this. If you install it correctly, it will look like that. All right, there we are.